until March 2023, people coming from the United States, they were able to cross the border because there is no wall or no fence between Canada and the United States. And they were able to come and apply for asylum in Canada. But as you said, at some point, the numbers were getting higher and higher each month, each year. And the US and Canadian governments, they decided to revise their agreement, which is called Safe Third Country Agreement. And they actually made effectively impossible to apply for asylum in Canada if you are coming from the United States. There are some exceptions if you have family members, if you are a minor, etc., etc. But when you think about it, more than 90% of these people are not eligible for asylum anymore. So, and this was taken in a very short amount of time. A lot of people were stuck in the United States. They were planning on crossing the border, coming for Canada. And people come to Canada for multiple reasons. So they have their communities. For instance, there is a big Venezuelan, Haitian, communities here, especially I'm in Quebec, in the French side of Canada. So and we have the majority of the asylum seekers in the country. So, but March 2023, unfortunately, our governments decided to close the border effectively. And there is a different, story in this. A lot of Mexicans used to arrive in Canada and cross the border between Canada and the United States, and they arrive in the United States because they want to go and meet with their families in the United States. So it was the case, but the revision in the agreement made it impossible as well. So if you arrive in Canada and then cross the border to the United States will send you back to Canada. So, and it's vice versa, right? People, if they come from the United States, Canada will send them back to the United States. So that's the agreement between our countries. So unfortunately, for more than a year now, the numbers are going down because people cannot cross. And if they are caught, they would be sent back to the United States. And we don't work with asylum seekers in Canada. We are a small team. We have 5 people, one of the probably smallest Jesuit refugee services, because we are present in 58 countries all over the world. But what we do is resettlement. Resettlement means we sponsor people and we bring them to Canada as permanent residents, and eventually they become citizens. So we raise funds with family members and we do all the whole paperwork with the government, and we welcome them. But unfortunately, the Canadian government never resettles people from Latin America. So everyone coming to Canada, they are either from the Middle East or Afghanistan, like Central Asia, Afghanistan, and Africa. So I worked on refugee sponsorship at McGill, so I've never ever seen a single family or a person resettled from Latin America. Unfortunately, the government or the communities like us, because we have a special program in Canada, it's called private refugee sponsorship, and we are using this program and we are bringing people. It's not the government resettling, but the community organizations like us. We are resettling refugees, and even we call it Group 5. 5 people can come together in Canada and resettle refugees. As long as you collect enough money to support these people for a year, you can actually sponsor people and they will come to Canada and you will be responsible for 1 year. The United States is trying to imitate the system, welcome course. So, but it is a special program and it's been going on for the last 45 years. Canada actually has been the country that invented that.
Ahora mismo como que tampoco estamos encontrando una respuesta por ningún partido político que de verdad atienda las necesidades de las personas migrantes y refugiadas. Claramente, tú nombrabas a un candidato que señala pero es verdad que tampoco nos estamos encontrando por la administración que ahora mismo tenemos vigente una respuesta favorable de todas las maneras, ¿no? Es verdad que en marzo se intentó pasar una ley que tenía sus partes positivas, queriendo hacer un poquito más de financiación para algunos programas fuera de Estados Unidos, pero también para la frontera, ¿no? Dando más dinero para los albergues, dando más dinero para cubrir la patrulla fronteriza, bueno, queriendo hacer cosas positivas, pero otras más restrictivas de lo que nos encontramos ahora mismo, cerrando de una manera más agresiva y no atendiendo a algunas causas más fundamentadas de lo que está pasando. Entonces, no nos estamos encontrando con las soluciones que querríamos.
Journey into exile, actually, we have been offering this for the last 7 years. So it is a simulation exercise, which means it is a role playing and it's an educational offering to different people. So it goes from secondary school, like middle school students, to people in retirement houses. So we cover a huge population. We have different versions. The idea is we want people to try at least to feel like being a refugee. What it feels like you are displaced, you are leaving your home, your country, your people, and you are seeking safety and security. In the simulation exercise, everyone becomes a refugee. For instance, I'm not Tevfik anymore. I'm Mohammed from Syria, and everyone makes decisions. So everyone gets a small biography card, giving some biographical details, and then people make decisions, and they learn what happens to them. If I try to cross the Mediterranean, if I try to cross the US-Mexico border, etc., etc. So, and then in the meantime, we listen to real refugee testimonies. People share their stories about crossing the Mediterranean or like the Arizona desert. So like these are real refugee testimonies. And so, yeah, there are different versions because we are in Canada. Everything should be bilingual. It's a bilingual country. We offer this in English and French. There are 3 versions: in person, online, and hybrid. So thanks to Clara and Clara's creativity, last year we came up with the hybrid version. So it's working well. So, but most of the sessions we have, they are in person. So, and last year we had 69 sessions in Canada and the United States with 1,700 people. More than 1,700 people participated in our simulation exercise. Most of the time, we go to high schools, universities, we work with other nonprofits. So we want people to understand what these people go through, even though it is really hard. And we also came up with a guidebook last year. We wrote a guidebook. It is a common project. 7 people contributed to it. I edited, I wrote some chapters. The idea is, in the simulation exercise, we talk about people who are on the move. People, they are trying to cross like international borders. They live in refugee camps or they live in urban areas. A lot of people after each session come to me and ask me a common question: how can I help refugees? Now I feel these people are coming from all these challenges. And that's why we came up with a guidebook. And the guidebook has one objective, actually like 2 objectives, I can easily say. 1, learn about these people. Because we generally have all those debates without knowing about those people. It's like have an informed debate. And second, own your responsibility, because we are responsible for each other and everyone has a role and a voice in this great work of accompanying refugees. So this is our approach. We think we are all called to accompany these people when they arrive in our country, in our community.
La Convención de Ginebra de 1951 da una definición muy concreta y muy, ¿sabes?, concisa de lo que es un refugiado. Y entonces toda aquella persona que se ve forzada a dejar su país cruzando una frontera internacional, que esto es importante, por razón de que le están persiguiendo, de violencia, por razón de sexo, de raza, de pensamiento político, pensamiento de fe espiritual. Entonces, eso al final no caben muchísimas otras razones que te fuerzan también a desplazarte. Y por las que a lo mejor algunos países te darían asilo. Por ejemplo, aquí en Estados Unidos, ahora ya mismo una ley que estamos pidiendo al gobierno que se reconozca, que es hacer caminos para migrar más seguros y reconocer y dar asilo a aquellas personas que pueden demostrar que se ven forzadas a desplazarse por causa del cambio climático. Porque estas personas no están reconocidas como refugiadas, no están dentro de la definición del Convenio de Ginebra. Entonces, necesitamos otras herramientas para que estas personas también se vean acogidas por la ley, se vean reconocidas su situación de que esta persona se está viendo forzada a desplazarse. Y luego hay un punto, como hablábamos, del cambio de narrativa. Si yo soy una persona en Guatemala, donde ya no estoy pudiendo, de la zona rural, donde ya no puedo alimentar a mi familia, donde ya no puedo encontrar ningún trabajo por 1000 razones, donde además me siento insegura por otras 1000 razones, no tengo manera de demostrarte que estoy en peligro, pero al final yo me siento en peligro y yo no quiero vivir aquí y yo me quiero ir. Entonces, ahí también entramos ya en el nitty-gritty, ¿no?, de las situaciones. Entonces, eso hay que tratarlo y ahí también va nuestro trabajo. Al final hablamos de personas que se ven forzadas a desplazarse y es lo que intentamos también, ¿no?, llegar a la ciudadanía con eso.